Hey now, it is February 8th, and we are at Harry Hooper. And first of all, before we talk about Harry Hooper, congratulations to all the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Famers. I guess the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame is not ready for an autograph guy, but that's okay. Actually, there were some guys like Four Leaf Cards, and there's another one that got in, really deserving. So everyone that got in, congratulations. But let's move on to Harry Hooper. Harry Hooper is one of those guys. The first time I heard about Harry Hooper's name, I remember this distinctly, was in the baseball documentary, Ken Burns Baseball, and they talked about the greats of the Red Sox, and they flashed names across. And one of the names they flashed across was Harry Hooper. For some reason, that name stuck out to me, Harry Hooper. What an interesting name. But looking at his stats, they weren't that great. I gotta be honest. Yes, he was a member of 4 World Series Red Sox teams, the only person ever to do so. He was the leadoff hitter for that team. But overall, I mean, he has the all-time record in assists for a right fielder. I don't know how statistically relevant that is. Maybe even more now than he was inducted in 1971, which we'll get to in a second. But again, a lifetime 281 hitter. And remember, 281 seems like a lot now, but back then when he was playing, it wasn't quite the dead ball. And so people were hitting. I mean, Cobb was hitting 400 and everything. They weren't hitting home runs. So he less than 2,500 hits, less than 1,000 RBIs, hell, less than 900 RBIs. So again, you just look at him and nothing really stands out like, wow, this guy should be a Hall of Famer. He got in at the infamous 1971 class, and that was probably, with the exception of Satchel Paige, one of the worst classes in the history of baseball. They put in 7 people, the Veterans Committee, again, all behind closed doors. Again, the writers didn't select anyone, including some guy named Yogi Berra you may have heard of. But people like added Dave Baycroft, Jake Beckley, who may deserve these. Like we talked about him a while ago, way before my time, very early baseball. Chick Hafey, Joe Kelly, Ruben Marquardt, George Weiss. And the reason why Hooper got in is his son started a letter writing campaign and really pushed people to get in. So I guess the moral of the story is next year I need to have my son do a letter writing campaign for me for the YouTube Hall of Fame. Just kidding. So again, nothing terribly exciting. He was like 83 or 84 when he got in, but he was at the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. He came every year from 1971 to 1974. And again, he passed away in the fall of 1974. But he was at the Hall of Fame induction ceremony in 74. And because of that, there are a lot of multi-sign baseballs, which we'll get into shortly. You know what? Let's stop right there. Let's talk about the autograph analysis of Harry Hooper. So let's share my screen here. So always I start the PSA database. So what's nice about the PSA database is they have a lot of signatures in here and they're dated. So the things you look for Harry Hooper is, again, it's kind of weird, but usually the H, it's almost like a Heilman H. You see this right here. So it races across up. Usually this second H, the top of it should be higher than the first one. Again, he had a very racing signature until his late to the 70s when he got in the Hall of Fame. So usually you don't want to see any hesitations whatsoever. He signed every letter of his autograph. It's a very plain looking signature. There's nothing really spectacular about it. Again, you want to see these jetting off, so the H's down here. You see how that hooks around back here? That was common in the earlier signatures of him. Unfortunately, he stopped doing that in the 1970s. Again, sometimes this H is over here. Sometimes this type of H is over here. Usually, though, you're going to see a break between this H and the A. But again, a lot of times the Hooper will be connected. So just keep going here. This is, again, a nice race signature. You see how you can sort of see that A right there and an A right there? That's really what you're looking for in Harry Hooper. Now, rarely is the autograph connected like this, one single stroke. It's much more common that the Hooper be connected. Again, see the tall H right there, You see how it jets out to the left here, left right here. But here, the H comes around and loops around. This is more common of his later in life signatures. It doesn't hook down like this. It's more racing. It's still a nice signature. Usually the O's are open, like you could see right here. That's pretty common. But again, it's not always. I mean, Harry Hooper's autograph varied a lot. And because of that, he's very easily to be able to forge. Again, right here, this H higher than this H. You can sort of see the A right here. Again, you have an open O here, a closed O here. It's like, yeah, here it's on a plane, but he didn't always sign on a plane. His signature varied a lot, unfortunately. The fortunate thing is he's a very common autograph. It's not really hard. Again, high H here, high H right here. The O's fully closed right here. They were open earlier. They're closed here. Again, it hooks back here. I don't know much about this autograph. I think it's good. He's not really forged on flats. Now, baseballs is a different story. So we talked about before, this is a really slow signature. And usually, and I know this is on the PSA database. This hook right here, he kind of stopped doing like earlier in his career. I said mid 1960s. Now, could this be real? Yeah, this is a really slowly drawn autograph. Even the R going into the Y, I don't like that at all. That's very rare. He usually send every letter of his name. I don't think he would skip an R, which like he did right here. Again, the H right here. I'm just, for something about this, it's so slow. And I'm not really a fan of this autograph. And Ron talks about there's the one thing you got to look out for are Harry Hooper signed side panel baseballs, like this one right here. Again, just really not a fan. Again, this is a vintage signature of him right here. This is gorgeous. You're not going to see those, and you can't even see this one right here. So, again, a couple things I want to point out. This is mine right here, and this is a signed check. And again, 1966. Again, he was still doing this backwards curved H. But again, you see how the R, and you got every little R in there. He doesn't skip one. And I really, in the A, you sort of could see it right here, what I was talking about. And so after he passed away, collectors would write to his son who got him into the Hall of Fame, and he would graciously give back signed checks as return since his father passed away. Really nice. So because of that, his autographs are not rare at all on flats. Like Jake, if you're watching this, you even have permission to buy a check and cut it up because they're, again, not rare at all. It's $50, maybe $100. Oops, we're going to Roger Hornsby. So again, I want to talk about signed baseballs here, and I'm just really, again, they talk about it like how rare it is to get. Like the most common forged Hooper autographs are on signed baseball, single sign on the side panel, like you're seeing right here. And again, right here, like you see right here, this H, there's no A about it. He does not scrolling up. Here, this one actually looks good. If I had to buy any of these right now, it'd be this kind of sloppy one right here. Because again, you can see the A right there. You could sort of see it right there. It's not perfect. Again, this one's not bad either, to be honest. But like, again, if we go to, I pulled this up. This is signed in 1973. This is dated. It's multi-signed ball. These are common from the Hall of Fame's induction cert. And even right then, he was still doing that A you see right there. And the H was connecting. And again, every single letter. He was very proud of his signature, as he should be, as a Hall of Famer. Again, another one right here. Again, you can see the A this time right here and the H. And again, every letter he's even trying to do. So again, so we know these are good. And then these are, like I said, these are just, some of these are just like, I'm just like not, like this one right here. There's no A right here. The person's trying, not really a fan. It's kind of looks very slow to me. And again, it says 1950s. Now here's 1940s. This ball says, looks like to me the same person signed the same baseball, and neither of them were Harry Hooper to me. That's just my 2 cents. Take that for what it's worth. Again, right here, I think whoever tried this one screwed up the H on this one. He didn't get. I'm going to scroll down. Again, this sold for $3,000. So I don't care what it sold for. I don't like the way they try to do the A right here. Usually when you see the A, it's coming up like this way and going straight up. There should be one of these H's going straight up and not to the side. So again, just not really a fan of a lot of these baseballs, single sign baseballs. So as they always say, let the buyer beware. So again, just searching on eBay, everything looks good on eBay. Again, look for those high H's when you're looking for them. Again, postcards a little bit more money, about $100, because he only had about a 3-year window to sign them. Although he was a very good signer during that window. This is a beautiful government postcard. And I sorted this by highest first, and this one for the highest. In my opinion, it's the nicest of the autographs. So, anyways, that's about 9 minutes on Harry Hooper. So we're going to go from one of the very least deserving Hall of Famers, in my opinion, to one of the most deserving, and that is Rogers Hornsby. But until then, as always, keep collecting.